This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago, coming from the 606 Media Studios. This is the TCSF podcast with Big Z. In the house, we got Stevie B from the No Water in the Weekend podcast, and we got JC Dynasty Fantasy Football, and it's going to be a good one today. Episode 225 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts now. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, X, or I think we're on Twitch as well, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Smash that button.
That's right. And if you're on your favorite podcast app, remember to give us a 5-star rating and drop some nice comments to shoot us up on the charts. And you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans, and go over there and click on the support button and subscribe for as little as 99 cents a month. Oh boy. And if you haven't done so, check out the other podcasts. We got No Water in the Weekend with Stevie B and Sean Daly. Tons of stuff. We'll talk about what they had this week a little later. You got 10 episodes of Impossible with Big Z. Tons of funny stuff. You know, the last one was with John Vitti. He's doing all those nice little videos about Chicago comedy stuff. Like, I think the last one was like a helpline, Chicago helpline, which is hilarious. Go and check him out for his recent content. And without further delay, episode 225, Deal Makers or Deal Making. I don't know what I named it at this point. It's late in the night. This episode, the Bears, is it official yet?
It's over.
It's over. What is it, 30-15?
Yeah. No.
30-12?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. To the Vikings. We'll talk about that in 3 and Out. We're going to talk about the White Sox actually finally trading their biggest asset in Crochet. What did they get back? We'll cover that. The Cubs make a deal as well, getting King Tut over from the Astros. We'll break that one down as well. The Bulls won today. Blackhawks won Sunday. That covers that. Too bad.
I mean, it was exciting for the Blackhawks on Sunday. I got to say that.
You were there. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah, and then we'll finish it up with a stir in the pot. But without further ado, we're gonna go with 3 and Out, our Bears segment. Boom, please blow this season up. I am tired of watching bad Bears football. We just finished this Monday night debacle in Minneapolis in that beautiful stadium they got up there. They had the all-white jerseys from Minneapolis. I think who's doing a horn, Joe Morrow or one of those Hall of Famers they had up there from the Twins. It was a bad from the get-go. First half. It was 13-0. Should have been 13-3. 0-7 in third and fourth down combined. Caleb fumbles. He was 7 of 9 for 60 yards in the first half. They were on the 33 and didn't go for a field goal. It's 50 yards, but it's indoors. You can kick indoors very far. Swift had 11 carries for 31 yards. Offense was just anemic. And where was Komet? I think he had 14 yards all game, and
I think it was one catch.
Yeah, it all came up in the first half. So, boys, that's pretty much a synopsis of the first half. What did you guys see in the first half?
Well, I saw the same thing of the last week. Pretty much no consistency. Exactly, crickets. Literally crickets. Same thing as last week. And I want to pose this question.
Yeah.
When Eberflus was coach, we lost by 3. Now, and I see why we don't fire mid-season or during the season, because you keep bringing all these coaches up. They're getting promotions. And now it looks like a train wreck and even looks worse than it did under Matt Eberflus. Now, yes, missed play calls, special teams, not, time management. These things happen, but I don't know if it's worse. Rather see no offense or rather lose by 3.
JC?
Give me no offense for 100. Why? Because I want that top pick now. That's all that matters anymore. We are a trash team. Well, we are an ascending trash team. We still have good young players, but the bottom line is that our roster is still not good enough to get over the hump. So continue to give me 3 picks on the top 50. I'll take it. That's the only thing we have to look forward to for the rest of this year. I'll continue to give me.
It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. I mean, at this point, is it time to sit Caleb before he gets murdered, or do you continue to try to develop him because he's really not getting developed? So, we seen the offense under Thomas Brown, and some of these plays were working where they were doing the screen passes to the outside, and it was like, all right, 1, 2, 3, throw the ball, 1, 2, 3, and that's what he needs to do, Caleb. He needs to get that ball out early and stop playing that hero ball and ducking and dodging and ducking again. And it's just really bad because he's playing backyard football. And I understand our offensive line is bad, but at the same time, get rid of the ball. He's holding on to the ball, which is causing this offensive line to hold. Amagaji with like 7 holding calls or 7 false starts or whatever. He had a bunch of penalties. Not faulting the kid because he just got 1-day practice with he started practice on Thursday, and he didn't get any first team reps. So I'm not blaming him as much, but this is what happens when you do not prepare, when you have horrible coaching, horrible owner, horrible GM at this point, because he has not made any additions to supplement. They were talking on a broadcast that the GM for Minneapolis has added like 7 or 8 players in season to supplement what's going on. You trade for a running back, Cam Akers, 2 years in a row.
That's easy to make supplemental pickups when your team has chances of making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did JC freeze?
Did he freeze?
Yeah, it looks
and
like
also I hear a callback. Either you have another app open or something, because I'm hearing voiceover.
You're hearing voiceover?
I'm hearing my voice delay.
Huh.
So it's either you have another window open or you have Instagram Live going and it's picking up on the mic.
Huh.
So
I don't have
I would
any
lower everything to nothing.
No, there JC's back. All right. I don't have anything. I had Twitch on
okay.
my phone, but I don't have that connected because that'd be Bluetooth. That's off right now. So
yeah, I don't hear it now.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay, JC, continue your thought.
No, my thought was, it's easy to add players to your team when they have a winning record and have the chance of making the playoffs. Nobody wants to join a 4 and whatever team that is looking like they are on the downswing of not winning a game for the rest of the season. And they have no leadership. They have no coaches to stand for. They have nothing. And this also looks to be like another issue where, when you try and bring back players like Keenan Allen or any of these guys that were on the team this year, that they're going to look at this team and be like, good God, no, I am not coming back to this shit again next year. That becomes another problem where, not only that, free agents, unless you pay them a lot of money, they're not going to want to come here. I mean, maybe if we sign, Ben Johnson or, a great head coaching, prospect. But like I said, right now, if I'm a free agent, I'd much rather go look at some of these playoff teams, than the Bears.
Yeah, I see that because obviously this is a developmental year for Caleb, and we got all hyped because we had a bunch of weapons on offense when it comes to the receivers, the tight end, and running back, all these additions that we made, but the offensive line wasn't there, the coaching wasn't there, all the other supplemental stuff that we need is not there. So because of that, they seen that we just fired our offensive coordinator, then we fired our coach, and we elevated, the water boy to be the head coach. And, he he's literally going for it on fourth down after you've not gotten a third down conversion all first half. Not going for a field goal. Take the points. Take the points. Like, this is the stuff that if you're a free agent, you are not going to want to go to a team with this uncertainty. Ben Johnson's a great offensive coordinator. Yeah, it's great. But he also has an offensive line that they've been building for like 6 years. So why would he want to come to Chicago when you're not going to be able to have that offensive line? You're not going to build that overnight. It's not going to take 1 year to get an offensive line that's going to be cohesive and as good as Detroit, Dallas, and it's, a couple of years ago, the Bills. We're not going to do that overnight. It's not going to happen. So why would Ben Johnson come here?
Yeah, it's a job that no one wants.
Well, I will defend the Bears from this standpoint. We have a great young secondary. Other than Byard, who's a little bit up there in age. I mean, you go look at our secondary: Jalen Johnson, Stevenson, Brisker, Gordon. All those guys are still in a very young age. As for our defensive line, Javon Dexter was drafted 2-3 years ago, not even 2 or 3 years ago. So, I mean, he's still young. Billings, who's been out, yeah, okay. Montez Sweat is 1 year older. When we traded for him, I believe he was 29 or 30. So he's 1 year older. Yes, we need another edge across from him. But you look at the defense. The defense is what sells this team, is because it is a core group that has now been together for a while, and none of them are leaving anytime soon. Jalen Johnson was the one that was up for contract. He is secure. He is still playing like Jalen Johnson should be playing. Gordon, in my opinion, has stepped up this year with Brisker being out a lot. Stevenson had the bonehead play in the Washington Commanders game. He showed up. Showed up
in the end zone. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it was a deep ball to, I think it was Addison. Yes, it was Addison in the corner of the end zone on the right hand side, and the ball's gonna come to Addison, and he literally shoves him out the way and then catches the ball for the interception. And it's like, you can't shove an offensive player for a ball. You can't make contact, especially in the end zone. They're just going to call that all day. And it's just a bonehead play after bonehead play by this guy. I don't know if that's something that's coachable, that you need a Mike Vrabel to come in and be like, this is unacceptable and this is how you play defense. Or do you hire, if Ben Johnson comes, who's going to be his defensive coordinator? Because
we'll find out, because we were talking prospects a week or two ago. And I basically said, like, well, are we going to be a 3-4 again, or are we going to be a 4-3? Like, what defense are we going to run, under a potential offensive minded coach? So, that's a whole nother issue of, if we go back to a 3-4, we don't have the personnel for it.
No, you're looking at Edmonds and everybody else is going to be moved over on and Sweat and all that. Like, I don't think again, we have offensive issues now. We want to shuffle the defense. I mean, what's going? That's not feasible.
Yeah. So I mean, these are all things that are going to come up over time. But like I said, the thing that, like I was saying, the Bears have a very young, talented team. Yes, on offensive side, DJ Moore is getting a little older. Keenan Allen is probably not going to be with us next year. Cole Kmet, still a good player. Why we don't use him, beyond me. Roma Dunze, he's starting to come alive a little bit, starting to take a little more, plays. I think he's got 45 catches now for the season. So, hopefully he can expand upon that next year. The only downfall is if, just in this game tonight, you're watching and it's like, who's his favorite receiver? Keenan Allen. Yeah,
it is Keenan Allen. He made a spectacular catch on the sideline when they were driving down, catching with his feet on tippy toes on the floor and making a catch. but he also dropped a bunch. And Adunze dropped one in the end zone. Keenan Allen cost Adunze a touchdown by going for a ball that wasn't for him. Again, those things happen when you're not coached correctly offensively. Like, there's too many offensive players running the same or similar routes in their same area, so that allows the defense to attack you more easily. But he tipped the ball that was literally going to go to Adunze in the end zone. It's a different story. You know, good teams find a way to win, bad teams find ways to lose, and this is a bad team. They week after week they're finding more interesting ways to lose. If it's the play calling, the coaches, the going on your own shows and dogging the team. I mean, this team has no discipline.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, and I hope I'm wrong, but Thomas Brown's going to be the coach for next year, and everyone's going to be the same because no one's going to want the job. And, you know, I've been right on this podcast before, and I'll be right against if I am. I hope I'm not.
You know who you sound like, right?
Who do I sound like?
Our friend Israel.
I mean, it's a Bearsy thing that they would do. It's a Bearsy thing that they would do. That's a Bears thing. That's a Bears what they would do.
That'll never happen. That'll never happen. Because again, you look at the Bears team, there is talent there on the team. Someone who is qualified will want to be the head coach of this team. Because when you look at some of the other teams like the Saints or whoever, the Saints are like $80 million over the salary cap. I mean, they are in such a it's ridiculous.
How?
Because they keep kicking the can down the road. They just keep extending guys and then kicking the can money down the road.
But who's on that team? I don't know any names on that team.
Derek Carr's salary is out of control.
Yeah.
It's like $45 million, and then you know, they work his contract, you know, for an extended year, and then what happens is, like, instead of him being paid $45 million this year, now they owe him 25, and then they owe him $65 million next year. So it's crazy where, like, again, like, yeah, you can make the NFL salary cap a joke, and like you can do whatever you want, but eventually the salary cap comes back to bite you in the ass because you can't kick it down the road forever. You know, not only that, the Saints, like Cam Jordan, they've got some veteran players that they paid that are not performing all that well. But that's why I say, you know, the Bears are in a great salary cap. I think we're $60 or $80 million with salary cap. We have, again, a young secondary and defense. You know, yes, our linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds and Edwards, are getting a little older. Montez Sweat getting a little older. But you look at that secondary, young, you know, early 20s, mid 20 guys. So you can't complain there. You know, you got DJ Moore, who's still pretty young. You got Roman Dunze, Cole Kmet, Swift. I mean, you have good pieces to build around, so somebody's going to be interested in this job. Again, it's just a matter of who and who the leader of men will be.
The leader of men. I mean, that term is such a joke. That term is such a joke. If you are a strong head coach, the players will follow. You know, if you're an alpha male, that's all. You know, that's what it is. You know, you're Belichick's. You know that he's an alpha male. Bill Cowher, alpha male. You know, who's in Pittsburgh now? What is his name? I always forget his name.
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin, alpha male. Right, and that's what you need. It's going to be his way or the highway.
Well, unfortunately, Mike Tomlin is a quote-unquote alpha male, but we all know what the Antonio Brown situation was there. You look at the George Pickens situation right now. That is a joke. I mean, Mike Tomlin claims to be an alpha male, but at the same time lets people walk all over him without disciplining him. So he walks a very fine line of player coach who is just strict enough, you know, to keep like a team together. But like his teams are on the brink of chaos at all times.
Yeah, but they have a winning record.
Look, I'm not saying they don't, but like I look at, you know, all the drama that came out of like once Antonio Brown left the Steelers, like that he showed up late every single day, that he didn't go to meetings every single day, that, you know, basically Mike Tomlin let this culture happen within the building. And it's like, whereas Bill Belichick, dude, he didn't care who you were. Like he benched one of his best cornerbacks in the Super Bowl. And the rest of the team's like, what is happening? Like, this is the Super Bowl. So, and again, like, not a lot of players want to play for a Bill Belichick anymore. They want a more player-friendly coach.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, you want to talk about alpha male, you know, Dan Campbell.
There you go.
That's a leader of men, an alpha coach who's doing it the right way, who is still a good, like, interactive with his players, but at the same time, he's going to chew your head off and explain to you, hey, here's why I just chewed you out. And the problem is, you know, the Trustmans, the Matt Nagy's, the et cetera, that the Bears hire year after year after year, they're not it.
Yeah, they're definitely not it. Before we start looking at what the options are for coaching candidates, let's wrap up today's game. 12-30. It's a loss. Caleb Williams, 18 for 31, 191, a touchdown. He did fumble once. Looks like Beijing got in there for the last play, 1 of 1, 5 yards. Swift, 19 carries, 79 yards. DJ Moore, 3 carries, 24 yards. Keenan Allen, 6 receptions, 82 yards. DJ Moore, 8 receptions, 46 yards. Odunze, 2 catches. I think he was targeted 8 times today, 7 or 8 times, for 39 yards. Komet, 1 for 14. That's just despicable. Swift, 1 for 10. And then Tyler Scott, who didn't even know he was still on the team, 1 for 5. And it's funny because I was watching the pregame and I was listening to the radio all day, and they were talking about what the attack plan should be for the Bears against the Minnesota Vikings, which they didn't do, which is continue to run the ball, because teams have been able to run the ball on the Vikings and use Cole Kmet every other play, right over the middle, quick release, use them so that you can draw the defense. So that way the wide receivers can get open. Play action. Even Troy said, he's like, they run the least amount of play action. There's no reason that we shouldn't be running play action to get the defense on its toes. Not using Caleb under center to get the ball out quicker. All these things that these veterans and these Hall of Famers are talking about, Tom Brady and Troy Aikman, on how to play the position as a quarterback. This is information that they should be sent down to Hallis Hall. Play this over the loudspeaker and on TVs over and over and over.
Well,
you're a joke.
The problem with that is you got to remember, you now have a tight end coach who is now the offensive coordinator. He's been promoted 2 spots. That, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to remember, we have coaches that should not be where they are.
No,
because we fired people. We fired people within. So, you know, we can sit here and talk about, you know, Tom Brady said this, Troy Aikman said that, and the bottom line is you also have a situation where you have a guy that's been sacked. You know, I don't know how many times tonight, but he was coming into the game 56 sacks for the year. That was 3rd most in the NFL history. So
what was he at? 59?
50. He came into the game with 56.
50. Okay, he got
Bryce
sacked.
Young was 2nd at 62, and then David Carr was 1st at like 70 something.
He was only sacked twice this game.
But the problem is when you play action, you turn your back to the defense to act like you're going to hand off the ball, and then once you do not hand off the ball, then you have to turn around and then re-recognize where the defense is, etc.
Have you not seen
if you have an offensive line that cannot hold water, the last thing you want to do is turn your back and not know where those rushers are coming to take your head off.
Well, I completely understand that, but at the same time, is Caleb not playing hero ball with his back turned to the defense?
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. We know there's a bunch of holes in this boat and it's sinking, and that's called the offensive line.
I just say do what you want to do with the ball, man. Just try. Do anything.
I get that, but there's multiple times where he doesn't, and again, he's a rookie. It's different. He's not recognizing, hey, let me get rid of the ball over the middle. He's open right there, or let me throw it out to the out route or the hook over here on the left hand side really quickly. And
He did that maybe once with Swift when they were coming in. Everyone was charging in, and
he doesn't.
All right. Well, I guess they're smoking weed on here.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we got Ivan Vargas from the Tape
All
Network.
right.
He is sauce, and he's always the boss. He is here to mess up the show because he's been drinking the Kool-Aid of the Bears.
You know what I want to tell you about this fucking dog and pony show?
Ladies, put your kids away. Put the headphones in.
This fucking guy, like this fucking guy, man,
warning.
like,
There's about to be a lot of explicit language.
we
Please cover your children's
keep
ears.
like marching this fucking like this like we're the greatest. Like here's this, we're the charter franchise type bullshit. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. This is the NFL, man. Nobody gives a fuck. How are you gonna win motherfucking football games, George? How do you fucking win football games, George? That's the fucking question.
JC, put you on the button.
Football games, bro. That's the only fucking way you're gonna fucking solve your issues, George. That's it. And if this fucking guy wants to keep lying to us and keep fucking meddling every fucking 2 seconds, it doesn't fucking matter what anybody does.
It's not gonna work, JC.
Period. It doesn't matter who comes in here. I'm not even cursing, JC. That's enough.
He's off by like a second.
It's just ridiculous. Every time I see this fucking team, to think that there's going to be an answer on the other side. And I'm about done. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing it great. I mean, we're waiting for your rant, but at this point, like we covered what the faults were, especially with Caleb playing hero ball and not be able to get the ball out quickly. And when he did during the playing the 2-minute offense, he was able to do that, and we were able to score. So does he have to play a 2-minute offense all single game and not let the defense change their defensive players?
What else are you gonna do with this fucking dog shit line? What else are you gonna fucking do? Everything's gotta be quick with them. They can't. Nobody can handle a block. Everybody's on their fucking ass. Somebody's got an injury here, a hip here, a knee here, concussion. What the fuck?
Well, there's a report.
No chance. There's just no chance for anything to develop. Whether it be Thomas, and God bless the guy, Thomas Brown. Is that his fucking fault? It's not his fault this organization sucks dick and can't fucking figure it out. I'm sorry. That's the fucking, it's just what it is.
Oh man, this is great. This is just great.
Kelsey over here came out and said Chicago has to prove that they belong in the NFL. And I think that's 100% correct because we're not going to do anything. I'm in the negative zone here. I don't even care about next year.
You'll be in the negative zone.
Yeah.
I think we're all in the fucking negative zone.
I mean, I don't even wear my Bear stuff anymore. I would have taken all that stuff down in the background of yours.
Coward.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with the Chicago Bears fans. It's like they ride and die. It doesn't matter if the team is 0-16. They're still going to wear their stuff proud. It's not like the baseball teams or the Bulls or the Blackhawks where you're like, yeah, I'm not going to wear that today. I'm going to put it away. No matter what. I mean, the problem is that the Bears fans still hang on to the 1985 stuff. You don't see them wearing the
about that
05
anymore.
Stuff. You don't see them wearing 05.
Well, you do.
I don't have nothing from 05.
I mean, I still wear 2016. It was just like yesterday. So
but
You
that's different. That's baseball. You haven't won in 100 years, over 100 years. Okay, I understand that. We didn't win for 88.
What are we
Completely
talking
understand
about?
that.
What are we talking about here?
We're just talking shit about the Bears fans, how devoted they are, and they'll still go to the games and still sell out.
About those fucking Bears. Let me tell you about these Bears. Us. Let me tell you about us. Stop. Fucking stop going to the fucking game. I bought a fucking ticket for the Seahawks game. I'm a fucking moron. And I bought a really good ticket too, because I was like, you know what? It's gonna be the last game of the fucking home of the year at home.
Yeah.
Might as fucking well. And after seeing this, I'm like, man, the Seahawks are gonna stomp our fucking heads in. And I'm gonna be right there, 50-yard line, baby, cheering them on. Woo!
Yeah, I would much rather go watch a high school football game at this point for free rather than pay to watch this. But so Ivan, what we were discussing is that that whoever is going to come here and coach this team, that they're walking into a roster that is still somewhat young. They have a secondary that has played together for 2 to 3 years now. They have some continuity. You have Jervon Dexter, you got the linebackers and Edmonds and Edwards and Sanborn. You got Brisker, you got Gordon, you got Jalen Johnson. How do you feel about the state of the roster for a new head coach?
Okay, so
I know the Bears are a mess.
yeah,
but
player-wise, player-wise, and you're talking about personnel. I understand, but what I want to say is that although I think the roster can win, guys need to be tuned up. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys need to be fucking straight up checked about who they are, who they want to fucking be for this fucking team. Otherwise, we can find another spot for you somewhere else in the NFL, if that's the case. Because if you don't want to be here for Chicago, then get the fuck out.
Who in specific are you talking about, Ivan?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. Look at it. Look at in these last three games now. In the last 3 games, keep watching. Who do you not want to be here? Who do you see continuing to make mistake after mistake after mistake? Who doesn't deserve to be here?
Stevenson.
It doesn't matter which one. Like, I'm not calling one specific person out. You could tell it was Whiskey's handling, but you could tell it's just not one guy, bro. You gotta watch who is making the constant mistake. Who can we afford to not be here? Because this team was supposed to be a hard team to make. It was supposed to be really fucking tough, but we have no depth anywhere. So how tough really was it to fucking make this team? It's just a sad fucking state of affairs for all of us, boys.
So, Ivan, I got a question for you. Who would you personally choose to be the leader of men of the next head coach of the Bears?
Vrabel.
Okay, so me and you are pretty much spot on about who we would like to see.
But you have these outside noises though, JC, that are like, well, you got to get the fucking offensive guy because of Caleb. It's like, look, Mike could find an offensive guy. There might be offensive guys available after this season. You never know.
Yeah.
So it's all about how you lead your football team. Can Ben Johnson do it?
We don't know.
We don't know. Maybe he can. I'm not knocking him because we don't know, right? I'm not going to diminish anything Ben Johnson has done. I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve to be the Bears head coach. All I'm saying is the way that I see it, you have a guy who has an MO. You have a player on the fucking team who's already experienced it, who has an identity, who's led a team to multiple playoff positions, who had a general manager that wasn't on the same page as he was. And that was ultimately the detriment of the team, because then Mike wanted to go ahead and get involved himself. And as far as personnel and hire and players are concerned, and draft, like, then it's, if you want more control, then that's when things start to get sticky. So they didn't want to give him more control. There was a battle between him and the front office. That's what it was. So it's like there has to be an understanding of who you want to fucking be as a football team. And if Ryan Poles doesn't get on board, if Mike Vrabel's on board and Ryan Poles isn't on board, then get the fuck out of town. Or if Ben Johnson is on board and Ryan Poles can't figure it out, then get the fuck. Like, there's got to be something else. If they don't even want Ryan Poles involved, so be it. He's got to go. There's nothing that everything is on the motherfucking table right now, because Caleb Williams is a good quarterback and will be a great quarterback in this league, as long as you go ahead and figure out how to protect him and figure out how to coach him up the correct fucking way. And that's something the Bears keep fucking eluding in the past 40 fucking years. It's the truth. Lovey was the last great coach, and Lovey got fired in a winning season.
10-6.
How fucking arrogant! How arrogant of a franchise! How arrogant of a thought process that must have been, hiring some stupid ass Phil Emery, who thought he was God's gift to fucking everything, and decided he wanted to go get this dumbass from the Canadian League. It's fucking ridiculous to think.
Oh, man. JC and Ivan are on board with Mike Vrabel. Other candidates are Cliff Kingsbury, who's over there in Washington. We talked about Ben Johnson. We just seen what Brian Flores did to the Bears, and Mike McCarthy might be out in Dallas. So that's another candidate that might be out there, and there may be more. And there's also, there was rumors put out there that were extinguished with the Bears trading for the coach in San Fran, which I doubt that'll happen. I really doubt that. Shanahan's not leaving anywhere. So
he just dropped a deuce on her forehead with his own ragtag bunch of 49ers that are beat up and hurt. He just dropped a deuce on your entire franchise. Why would he want to leave?
Yeah.
Why would he want to leave?
And that's the same thing that's going to happen next week.
With this franchise. Why would he want to leave?
That's the same thing that's going to happen next week when the Bears host the Lions at noon, and it's going to be another. It will not be a close game like the first game. You're going to see a repeat of the Bears Vikings, where they get 30 to 35 scored on them, and the Bears put up one touchdown and a couple field goals. And you're going to see that exact same blueprint happen with the Lions coming up this Sunday. So, do not expect anything special. Do not expect anything spectacular. If you have some Christmas shopping to do, if you have to mow your lawn,
pottery class, to go to the movies, to, ride your bicycle, spend time with your grandparents, see your cousins. Exactly. That too. With the lights on or off, depending on how you feel that day.
Clean the gutters.
Clean the gutters. Put up a Christmas tree. Be jolly for something else besides this team.
Clean up dog shit. I don't know.
But at the same time, do not gift any of your family Bears gear. Don't push them to be part of the fandom, because don't make your family suffer like we do.
It's a sickness, JC. We're sick fucks. All right.
I think this is the worst sickness besides COVID. I think I'd rather have COVID than this sickness.
You did have COVID.
Yeah, for like a day, and it went away because I'm that awesome.
I was looking at something the other day about how many wins like big market teams had versus like Chicago.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, LA had like 122 wins or, whatever. And then you look at Chicago and it was like, or it was playoff wins. I'm sorry. Like how many playoff wins in the last 7 years. And it was like Chicago had like 3 playoff wins in the last 7 years. And it was just like, as a Chicago fan, like, we are twisted into keep showing up to get kicked in the nuts or, just slapped in the face. And we love abusive relationships. And
I sure do. Inside joke. And I'm the good guy in this one, not the bad guy. Just saying.
Have you been getting beaten, Steve?
A little bit.
Everybody has their quirks.
Where has she touched you?
Where has it? She
On this bottle, where has she touched you?
All of it, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Mostly in the head, but
Oh boy. Yeah. I kind of hear you saying
your fingers in the brain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It hurts. I also saw a report that had the same kind of wavelength where they combined all the teams in the cities in the 3 major markets, and our winning percentage was under 40% for all major markets. I think it was like at 38% or 42%. So it was around that area that, the amount of wins that winning seasons and so forth. So Chicago does take up a lot of abuse, especially with these teams. But quickly, before we wrap up the Bears, any score predictions? Start off with Stevie B.
I'm going to say, who they play? Oh, the Lions. Let's say Lions 42. The Bears, I don't know, 6.
Okay. JC?
52-0.
I'm hoping. Ivan,
what are we talking about? Like, I don't even know why we're talking about scores, because this is beyond like embarrassing. Can
Keenan Allen catch a fucking ball anymore? Like, I don't give a fuck if he leaves, and there's no point of him being here. He doesn't catch the ball in clutch situations anymore. He looks like an old man that's just been out the pasture. And if he goes back to LA, it'll be in a diminished role as a sideshow.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking way that's Keenan. What Keenan Allen was, it's not him out there.
Well, after spending a year with the Bears, I think Keenan Allen will go to any team and be like, I'm so sorry, please. I will work for $1 million. I don't care. Get me away from them.
That's
fair.
fair.
That's fair.
That's fair, JC. That's fair.
Like that's the state of what when you go 4 and whatever now, 7, 8 winning losses now in a row. I mean,
4 and fucking sell the team. That's what
you can't be happy in that locker room. You just can't. There's no way.
They're not showing up for the next 3 games. You can expect that you're not going to see that much of an effort coming from most of these guys who need to get a job, need to put some tape out there for another team. Those are the guys that should be showing up. But again, we watched
Devondre Campbell, walk off the sideline for the 49ers. I mean,
and he got
I'm
cut.
I'm surprised none of the Bears have done that.
That piece of shit should never play in the NFL again. First, not on my team. Not on my team. Steven.
Well, that's why they're trying to suspend them for as long as they can.
If you fucking walked out on my team, Steve, I would fucking never talk to you again.
All right, so it's been a good show, guys.
If you ever walked out on this team, I would never fucking talk to you again.
Those tickets are too expensive to be walking out that early. So definitely enjoy the beers, Ivan, at the Seahawks game if we don't talk to you there. But
I do want to say something before we end this segment.
Yep.
Out of all the coaches that I got fired in Chicago, what do you think that I have in common with them as of Friday?
You got fired?
Yeah, I got fired on Friday.
Oh, nice.
This city is filled with firings. So, again, I don't know.
Merry
I was
even.
Merry
I know.
Christmas, Steve. Yeah, you got the Bulls treatment.
Exactly.
Styles.
So,
you're like Craig.
Council?
Yeah, fired on your day off.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So I'm on the job market with Matty Eberflus and the coach from the Sky and David Ross and the Blackhawks former coach. So Yeah,
yeah,
so-
that was his name. I was good with the Blackhawks former coach. I'm
Alright,
actually okay with that. We don't
Well,
have to
they've been
call
playing a
back
lot
to-
better, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
after the firing, right? After.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've been playing a lot better after the fire.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm fucking out.
No, you're good. You're good. Thanks for coming on, man. I
Thanks for
appreciate
coming
it.
on.
I'm not walking out on
We
you.
needed that little bit of truth, for the fans to hear.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like, what? Like, let's not sugarcoat shit. This is terrible.
It is terrible.
Well, it's terrible. Goodbye, guys.
All right.
Thanks for
Oh,
joining
yeah.
us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our 3 and Out segment. Thanks to Ivan from Tape Never Lies, as he was
Never lying.
not
Say the
lying
least.
at all. Yeah, that was a lot of truth to him that he took that earlier watching that game, and that's probably what he needed to get through that game. But we're gonna take a
We
quick
also,
break.
hit our curse words for the month.
Oh, yeah.
For
yeah.
the three of us to be extremely clean for the rest of the month.
Yeah, well, we're trying to do clean and family friendly show as much as possible. That you can listen to this in the office. So now you need to put the volume up back up. But we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with Big Z in the house. We got CVB and JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. And this will be a family-friendly segment. What popped off? For the rest of the show. But let's talk a little bit of our baseball teams. They've had some movement this week, and the big movement was the Chicago White Sox have traded Garrett Crochet to the Boston Red Sox in exchange for a package of prospects. This had to happen before we get into the prospects. He had 2 years of control. He's young. He's an ace. And the White Sox are not going anywhere for the next 5 to 6 years. So why risk him pitching and getting hurt and not being able to get the value that you need to replenish the system, the farm system, and, trying to put a competitive team together for the next 5 years. So am I happy that he got traded? No, because he's a stud. But for what? Be wasting his talent at this point on the South Side, because he would pitch 6-7 innings of scoreless ball and then lose the game because we had no offense. So
I'm pretty happy about it.
yeah, he's going to your second team, which, hey, you know what? I got love for Boston. I hope they do well. As long as the Yankees don't win on the American side, I'm all good with that. So the package, the trade was announced this Wednesday. They got a catcher. Last name Teal, was it Kyle Teal? He's an athletic catcher with a track record of being an above average left-handed batter. His splits last season were at AA and AAA, hitting 288, 386, 433 with 13 home runs. He's patient on his approach, above average raw strength. Essentially, he is a solid catcher. Now he's going to join another catcher that we'll talk about in another episode when we break down all the White Sox stuff. But we have 2 decent catchers in the minor league systems, which is great because you don't know which one is going to stay healthy, which one's going to be panning out. And if you do have 2 good catchers on there, one that can hit and one that can play defense, you can DH one of them. So again, I think this is a good addition to add. He was Boston's number 4 prospect in their system. He doesn't strike out a lot, and he should be coming around late next year in the season. He should be brought up, so look out for him. Montgomery is the other person we got. He fractured his ankle before he got drafted. Was it this year or last year? He was high on there. The White Sox were looking at him as well when they were drafting, but he dropped so low because of the fracture ankle. He was batting 322, 454, 733 in college. He has great production. This is a player that has high upside. It's just that he had an injury early in his career, and again, those are the two main pieces. They did get a Meredith 23, another looks like an outfielder. He's a project.
You got Tachman too, but not in that deal. But yeah.
No, not in that deal. Yeah, I'm finishing up the deal. Yeah, they got Meredith, and then they also got a pitcher, Gonzalez. He's a throw-in. He's got a good arm. If we can develop him, great. But he'll be a middle to rotation starter if he does make it up to the big leagues. So yeah, again, we'll spend another podcast on breaking down all this stuff for the White Sox. We did sign Dan Altavilla. I think he was with the Padres. We got Shane Smith from the Brewers in the Rule 5 draft, and we did sign Mike Tachman. I do like the signing an outfielder that can actually hit. You can put him at the top of the lineup. You get on base. He's a solid outfielder, just a pro's pro. He spent a lot of time. He was with the Cubs recently, and he did well with the Cubs. I thought he was a good player. It's just that they have a logjam of outfielders with the Cubs, and that's the issue that's stopping what's going on over there. But again, the White Sox, I think this is a good trade. They'll be making some more moves. There's rumors of Robert going to the Phillies. That's what's on the hot stove right now. And there is rumors of the White Sox in contention for the Japanese pitcher who is in that transfer portal for international signing. So when that breaks, we'll put that on the Facebook website and we'll make that available to you. But our Chicago Cubs also made some moves. Stevie B, what do you got there?
So we got Kyle Tucker. With that trade, it involved third baseman Isaac Padres and right-handed or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, Hayden Wazinski and third prospect Cam Smith in that trade for Kyle Tucker. Now, I like the trade for 1 year. Okay. But are the Cubs going to sign him if he pops off and he hits a bunch of home runs and he's like an all-star? No, they're not. So, and again, on the show, we always preach prospects are suspects, but, it always bites us in the butt when we have them for a year and then, they go somewhere else and then they flourish, they get paid, they do what they want to do. So it's like a lease. We got a brand new, nice car, but we got rid of, some other stuff, and we're going to have it for a year. We're going to look cool. We're going to look a little flashy. But again, Big Z said, we have some trouble in the outfield. We have a lot of outfield talent. We got rid of a third baseman. Who's going to fit that position? We also want to have first baseman, and you want to have Belly play first. He doesn't like playing first. He likes playing outfield. It's like, okay, fine. We get a couple pitchers. We're in the mix for what's the gentleman's name for the Marlins.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
And I just don't think that I don't get the thing about outfield. That's why Tachman, we had to let him go because we got too many outfielders. Now, Seiya Suzuki, and Shota are like going to be the face of opening day in Japan, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why they probably couldn't get rid of him. And the MLB was probably saying, and this is all speculation in my point of view, that they're like, well, you can't add him in the trade because that's our promo for next year.
Well, he has a better on-base percentage. He's a better hitter than Cody Bellinger. Now, does he have the pop? Can he play as good defense in the outfield as Cody? No, not at all.
He's had his moments, but not as much as Cody. I will say that.
He's a defensive liability in the late innings. You replace him, not a problem. But he doesn't want, his agent came out and said he doesn't want to play DH. He never said it. But again, some stuff can get lost in translation. It is what it is. But I'd rather keep Seiya. He's a better bat when he's healthy. Way better bat. Cody gets hot in spurts and he gets injured a lot. You're paying him a lot of money because he opted in. There's talks of him being traded to the Yankees because they need a left-handed bat. But they don't want to take on the money. Dude, you got a lot of money. You missed out on Soto. So essentially, they might have to send another prospect with Cody, or if they send, was it Ian Happ? Who's your second baseman? Is it Happ?
There's also what's his name?
I'm sorry, Nico Horner. They were talking.
There
about
you go, Horner. I keep thinking Fontenot and Terrio, but yeah, no, back in the day.
Packaging Horner and oh, am I drawing a blank again?
It's been a rough day.
It's been a rough, yeah.
I don't think that this team is equipped. That they get themselves 5 more win games. Okay, fine, but it doesn't matter what they do at the moment because we need pitching, we need middle reliefs. Hitting was an issue throughout the whole season. We get in spurts between everyone. Mm-hmm. Swanson was hit or miss, or he wasn't even there for a full week, or maybe 3 or 4, series. So, I mean, I don't know what this team could possibly do. You want to get another lefty in the rotation with the guy from the Marlins? That's fine. A lot of teams in the actual National League had trouble with lefties. Makes sense, right? Get all lefties if you want. Fine. But I want to see more of focus on trying to get this team to at least go to the playoffs. Not, well, hey, we're 20 games left in the season and we're questioning whether or not we're going to be in the playoffs. Like, we have to win this and this has to happen. No, I want us to just get in, not have to worry about it, have fun, cheer. And I don't know if I see that this year. I think I see a lot of the same problems as last year, unless there's more aggression on the actual trade value of all these players that are out and about.
You got something, JC, before I jump in?
No, for me, my issue was, we traded for Tucker, and then it's like, well, we just traded for Paredes last year, and it's like, so what are we doing? Like, we gave up prospects to get Isaac. Now we gave up more prospects and Isaac to get someone else who's on a 1-year deal that we have no, he's going to be due a pretty big contract unless he absolutely, has a horrible season.
There's no reason for Kyle Tucker to sign an extension right now when he was on pace to hit like 50-something home runs before he got hurt.
But my whole point is Isaac was controlled, I believe, for another 2 years, and he was our third baseman.
So which he would have been there for 1 year because Cam Smith was about to come up.
Yeah. But like I said, so that's kind of my issue right now is just we took on more outfielders with more payroll. We don't have a third baseman.
Let alone first.
Well, like I said,
you do have a first baseman. You got Michael Bush. You got Michael Bush.
Sure. But I mean, it's just like he's a great player and there's nothing wrong with him. It's just I need more like doubles. I just feel like we get singles, we get 2 and out, and then it's it. We cannot get around the bases fast enough. I don't know. It's either all these guys are hot at the same time or they're not. And either one is and the rest of them are not, or 2 of them are. It's just, I'm tired of not seeing any hits. I don't care about home runs. Home runs are great and I love them, but baseball is double, singles, or triples.
I understand that you want to move the runners along, but if you were to look at what your team looks like today, if they played today, you have Tucker in right field, Crow Armstrong in center, Happ in left, Swanson at shortstop, Matt Shaw, who can play second and third. You got Nico Horner at second, Michael Bush, and your catcher, is it Thias? I don't know what's his name.
It's not that great.
Yeah, he's not that great. Yeah,
no.
That's
Didn't
something.
we trade for a new catcher?
You did.
Yeah,
I'm just
a backup or whatever, but
yeah, Matt. It's Matt Tice. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's his name. You got him from, I believe, the Angels.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, and you also signed Matthew Boyd, a pitcher that's never pitched more than 59 innings or something like that.
Right, and that's like cushion or barely anything. It's like the seat toilet I got in there. It's good enough for now, but you got to change it out eventually because it's getting flat. This team, it will get flat eventually. And I'm just, I'm looking for a job.
That
I will
division is so flat because
for me, I'm looking at the international prospect players.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about the Sox looking at the Japanese pitcher, but I mean,
I just want to be relevant.
I would love
to
the
be
Cubs
cultural.
What it is probably that the White Sox have the most money to give out in international.
He'll take a little less money to play with Saya and Shota.
I wouldn't blame him. I mean,
let's be honest. I wouldn't go to the White Sox right now.
No, I mean, I would because I
for $1 million more.
Shit, you know what? No, I wouldn't. I need a job, but I don't know if I'd go.
Why? I can strike out 100, 250 times easily for $1 million.
No, I meant like in a front office job.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd take a front office job at any MLB team.
Yeah, I want to be like. Think about it really hard, but then I'd have to. Oh, but I would have to wear the colors and the shirt and God. I don't want to think about it. That's a nightmare. But no,
White Sox are hiring. I'll send you some links up from LinkedIn.
God, no, please don't. I don't know. I'd break my mom's heart. But no, I just think we're going to be in the same boat. I think this is pretty much it, unless we don't get the guy from the Marlins. I don't see much more that the team could do. I think this outfield situation is going to take off closer to the trade deadline with Belly. Because I know
it gets that far. I think, in January it'll get resolved. I really don't think that the Cubs are going to wait that long. I feel like Jed Hoyer is on his last year.
Oh, absolutely. If he doesn't do anything, he's out. He has to be out at this point because we were supposed to contend last season and we didn't even make it.
No, you were not going to contend. Let's be honest. The team
that was a map of an idea where we would be at, but there's nothing there's nothing to look at until I don't know when. Like, put me as general manager. I'll be spending money like that because it's not my money.
Yeah, well, that's the other issue, that the Ricketts don't want to spend money because they went over the threshold last year by whatever nominal amount, $1 million or $2 million. I think the salary cap is at 241. The luxury tax number is 241. The Cubs are way under that. I think they're like at under 200 right now.
Well,
you can go sign Jack Flaherty. He's 29. Really good pitcher. Let's see who else. Verlander. Why? Too little, too late. He's 42.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. If they do, it's because they want to just draw in more like promotions.
Can we find my boy from the Mexican League. Can we do it?
The White Sox should do it. The White Sox should do it.
That's their culture over there.
They have nothing to lose, and neither does he. No. And if he does well, you can flip him.
Bring me Trevor Bauer to the
any
Cubs.
day. Yes.
Why not?
Pick up Patrick Corbin.
He's a bad boy, and he'll kill it being a White Sox. He'll be the fan favorite. Everyone would be behind that gringo, okay?
That's right. That's right.
They'd give him a taco name on at the park. They do whatever they can. Put his face on one of those Christmas blankets as the tiger. Oh, man.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. So I'm down. I'll take Bauer. You guys don't need Bauer. You guys literally have one of the weakest divisions because the Brewers lost Corbin. I think they lost. We'll
take back the Central and never give it back after this season.
Come on.
Right. I'm just kidding. I don't think we'll really will.
Cool. Yeah, the Cardinals are hot trash. The Pirates,
I think they might be a surprise this season.
I think the Pirates win the division.
Maybe, but I'd say second, if that.
Who's gonna win it? It ain't gonna be Cincinnati. Cincinnati, I think it's good, but they always fade at the end. The Brewers always start off hot and then fade. The Cardinals are hot trash. You guys are stuck in limbo. I see the Pirates coming out of this.
All right, JC, write that down. I don't know. It's just this whole Central Division thing. It's just I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to expect. Anything is up in the air. If you look at the odds, probably at Vegas right now, I would like to see what they would say. I would like to know for that, and then I'll make my decision.
You can look it up. But I at this point, because you have such a log jam in now I know what clipped off. It was a clip that fell off. And you have a log jam in the outfield and are not making any trades, you're gonna have to trade those two players, Nico Horner and Cody Bellinger, to free up some space for some of those prospects that you said are really good and should be coming up. Also, to be able to sign another player because they don't want to spend money.
And this is the issue that I have. Why not? Why not? We spend money there all the time. Yes. We support the team all the time. We expect to win all the time. But why not? Why can't we be the only team in Chicago to spend money? I don't get it. Because you have the money. You have the property. You pretty much own all Wrigley.
Yep.
Yeah, but the problem is
your grandkids and your great grandkids are gonna have college funds. I don't even have a college fund or a job. Like, pay me. You want to give to charity? Give it to me. Spend money.
You got to remember.
Look what happened. I don't have lights anymore. Power's out. It blows my mind with the teams in Chicago. Just spend money. Make us happy. You're sitting up there looking down at us as peasants. Joke's on them because they're spending money on us.
Yeah, they're selling you an illusion.
Right.
But it's going to be packed all the time.
All the time. Corporations, retreats, charities, and the other sad part is Rhino's cancer came back, and I hope that guy he's getting undergoing like extreme treatment at the moment, and I hope the best for him. It's sad that it came back. So that guy's a stud, and I think he's strong enough to beat it again, and I hope the best for him and his family. But
and especially as quickly as it came back,
right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 months later.
It hasn't been very long.
Something like that. Yeah. But I just think this Cubs team and even baseball for the White Sox, it's like spend the money, do the thing, but they're not going to do it. It's just the way.
No, the White Sox is not going to be good for another 4 years. What's this? 2024? Yeah, 2028 is when I think that they'll be okay. They'll be decent.
Will we even care about baseball? No, I hear you. It's just
Oh, definitely. I mean, right now, like we talked a lot about the Cubs, but the White Sox have 6 of the top MLB prospects right now. And I know we always say prospects are suspects until they get up there and produce, but they have been able to produce pitchers, as you've seen.
Yeah.
And then we just trade them away. We trade our studs away. So I do
like Chris Sale. That's another one.
Which is funny because it was almost 8 exact years later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is sickening. Well, I'm happy with Chris. He got a ring. Boston got a ring out of it. And
I loved Chris Sale when he went over there. I was a big fan then.
Yeah. Well, another thing that was floated around that the Cubs might be looking at Yoan Moncada as a platoon third baseman. That's what was floated out there. But to see Stevie B's amusement, he got hurt in his last game playing fall ball down in South America. So I doubt that's going to happen. But
no, don't want him. Please do not. Please. Yeah. It's like that clip from The Office who's like, no. It's just like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it.
No, you definitely don't want it. I think we're good with baseball. Do we want to talk about the Blackhawks and the Bulls?
I'll just make it quick.
Yeah.
Really, like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Bulls have something going on with 2-game win streaks. I was there on Friday. I felt better about myself after the bad news I received, but I had great seats right in front. They did break a record. They had missed 75 threes in 45 minutes, which is terrible.
I can do that.
Patrick Williams did not look great that game. Io looked amazing. Kobe White did great. Zach, did Zach's numbers. And that was pretty much it. Yeah, everyone's missing threes, and this is a 3 league, and you're missing them. That's a problem.
It's not, you know what? The league is a shell of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I literally watched like a 5-minute like YouTube clip of a game with like how many threes they were chucking up. I think it was like the Lakers versus somebody. And it was literally like they ran down to this side. Somebody chucked up a 3, missed, rebound, ran to this end, chucked
Threw
up a
it.
three,
Mhm.
missed, rebound, and it was
Yeah.
just like it was like 6 plays like that in a row
Yeah.
where nobody hit a three, and within 30 seconds, 6 3-pointers had gone off. There was no defense. There was no like any type of offensive play going on because it was like, oh, let me dribble across half court and chuck it up. And it's like,
Yeah. There was a couple alley oops, but
NBA.
nothing great. Nothing great. Yeah.
Like if this is seriously the NBA now, I can't watch this product.
It's
No.
very
I'll
difficult to
start
watch.
watching college basketball because I can't watch this. Like I understand, yes, like all the statistics say that shooting a 3-pointer is more valuable than taking a 2 and whatever, but I cannot watch this brand of basketball anymore. Like it was one thing when Clay and Steph and all them were just knocking down threes and just destroying people in their younger days. But now that every team has to shoot threes, like 2 is like a bad play in the NBA now. Like I can't watch this product anymore.
No. Definitely not. And me and Big Z talked about it last week that this league, it's not anything special anymore.
Yeah,
Everyone's shooting threes.
No one's
And-
watching that cup. No one's gonna watch OKC versus Milwaukee.
No defense whatsoever. There's no hard like pushing. There's always fouls, free throws, whatever. I just don't. I haven't watched it. Also because Chicago Sports Network's a piece of crap too. So
Well, you still have to watch it since it's free TV, and you won't be able to watch cable or satellite anymore.
No. I'm going to your house. So keep the door unlocked. And for the Blackhawks, they won on Sunday. It was a great time. Bedard got the last winning goal at 54 seconds. Still, the team has no defense. It's very hard for them to get back. They just the energy in the actual stadium is still, the UC is great. It's always fun. It was a good time. Again, United Center always has great things going for everyone there. But 2 wins and they look good. They play hard still, but you can't see them do much more than that. It's a defense thing until they fix that up. And I think Bedard also, he's getting a little annoyed and tired, I think, because some of his comments, like to after the show things, it's just kids annoyed. In one of the after game shows, he made a comment to one of the commentators like, yeah, anyone be able to score on you, to the commentator. And he laughed about it. I took it a little different way. I don't know what's going on with Connor, but I think frustration is also in that, but
I'm tired of losing. Maybe
know?
he watched the Bears game. I don't know. I mean, I'd be
he
frustrated.
was there, I think, not too long ago. He went to the Bears game. He watched them lost. He's like, I'm used to that feeling. So,
Well, I mean, you got to remember what Connor's a 20-year-old kid, face of a franchise, and
if
they're
I
not
couldn't
playing.
drink, I'd be upset too. But go ahead, JC. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure
But
you
it's
can.
it's one of those where, when you listen, when I was 20 years old, I would not have been able to deal with the media for sure. So, give the kid a little leeway. He's dealing with a bad situation right now, bad team. There's a lot of expectations on him to, score goals and lead this team, but he's a 20-year-old kid. So
Yeah, and I'm not knocking him or anything. I get the frustration. At times, I think he would be better as a wing than he would be center. But because when he plays for Canada, I think this offseason, he's going to play wing. So I don't know.
oh.
But we'll see. I mean, I'm happy that the Blackhawks won and the Bulls won both times that I was there this weekend, which, shocker. Definitely
Definitely a shocker.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to close out the show with the stirring the pot.
Yeah, let's do
what you're
that.
stirred about. Yeah. So, my question to you, fellas, and this will be controversial. I don't know if it's controversial. Maybe it's controversial. I don't know.
Let's make it controversial.
Let's make it controversial.
Let's say a lot of swearing.
No, we had enough of that.
I know. I'm teasing.
2024. Are you guys an eggnog person? Do you drink eggnog? Because it's the Christmas season. We're about a week away from Christmas. Is eggnog something that you partake in the holiday season?
JC, go ahead.
No, I am not a fan of eggnog. I don't like the taste of it. Not a fan. I would much rather give me a hot chocolate, give me a hot cocoa, give me one of my favorite drinks at Starbucks, because I don't drink coffee either. Give me a hot caramel apple cider from Starbucks.
Oh, that's fire.
I enjoy that. Although never get more than a medium, because it is super sweet. Anything over a medium, it becomes a little too much. So I always say like a medium caramel apple cider, especially like, in those winter months when I start getting a scratchy throat or start feeling a little sniffle. That hot apple cider, it does good work on the scratchy throat. So can't recommend that enough. But yeah, eggnog, not a fan.
Stevie B.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but last year I bought it for an episode for No More on the Weekend because I never tried it.
Okay.
I had it with Sean. I think we drank the whole bottle. Did not feel great the next day, that's for sure. But no, I think we drank half of it. There's no way. It's too sweet. I can't do more than 2 shots of that. It's not bad, but it's not something that I want to be drinking all night. I think I'd get sick off of it. It's, it's milky, it's eggy, it's, it tastes like cinnamon and alcohol. And yeah, I don't mind it. I'm just not going to go out of my way again to buy it. I thought about buying it for the podcast, but again this year, but probably not. I'd rather have like a hot toddy on the show or something that I've been looking at, mixed cocktails.
I came across a thing on was it Facebook or something where it was like 8 different like Christmas inspired cocktails. So I think I'd rather try some of those than,
Yeah, I would too. I like Sean's wife Angie made a drink 2 years ago that was a warm kind of citrusy tea kind of thing. It was amazing. I'm trying to get her to do that again. I told her I'd buy all the stuff. But yeah, I would prefer a hot drink around this time. Open the windows, turn off the heat, and then just drink that. So other than that, what about you, Big Z?
That is a definite no. No.
Have you had it?
I did. I've had it multiple times. That's a no.
I'm really shocked with JC because that's usually like a Caucasian kind of thing.
Whoa.
And I'm making it controversial here now. So
he's like, you drink.
Like I said, I'm not a fan, man. Like I said,
yeah, no.
To
you
each
could say
their
that
own.
we have tamales.
If you're a person that likes eggnog, power to you. But yeah, it's not for me.
There'll be more on the shelves because we're not buying that crap. Definitely no to eggnog. Ugh, disgusting.
Okay, fine. Next week, Monday, I'll be on the show drinking eggnog for you guys.
Oh God. Being half Puerto Rican, we drink coquito.
That's the same, almost the same thing, but different.
Yeah, different ingredients.
Still creamy.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
it's too easy. No, coquito. It's.
Does your mom make it?
Yeah, she does make it. Yeah, she does make it. So it's phenomenal. Have you ever had that, JC, coquito?
No, I don't think I have.
All right, well,
it's good. I'm not. Yeah, I just can't drink that much of it.
It's made and it has a good balance of alcohol and coconut and whatever. But it's something that you could have maybe like a cup. I think that's more than enough because it is sweet. I usually try to dilute it by putting a lot of ice in there, so that way it waters down a little bit. But yeah, definitely, if you don't like sweets, that's not something for you. But it is delicious, and people make it in different variations with chocolate or strawberry. Usually, people just get crazy with. But yeah, eggnog, no. Coquito, yes. And I think we're on. Yeah,
hot chocolate. I never had boozy hot chocolate though.
Really?
So no, I've had hot cider with booze in it.
Yeah.
At the Chris Kingle Market, but other than that,
hot toddy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Chocolate and alcohol for me doesn't like a martini, espresso martini. It's like that to me. Not for me. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, around Thanksgiving, I love to do but it's on ice. Apple cider with a Smirnoff green apple and Smirnoff caramel. And like I said, you just make basically it's a caramel apple cider.
It's like a taffy apple.
Yeah. Tastes like a taffy apple. I could drink that stuff all day.
Oh, I couldn't. I'd be throwing up. I'd be so sick
in the morning.
I'd be so sick.
All day long I could drink that stuff, but
my stomach would have to be pumped.
Again?
And I got no health insurance, so I don't want that.
We got a plunger, don't worry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go.
One more shout out before we leave.
Yeah,
if you take a friend to a concert, make sure
yes.
give them plenty of water.
Yeah.
I took a friend to the concert recently and they ended up passing out on me in the middle of the concert.
And JC fell on him.
I didn't fall over him.
Well, when you were holding him, I thought you both fell on the ground.
Well, I tried to support him so that he didn't just completely pass out and fall and give himself a concussion and hit his head. But two larger guys, I'm trying to hold him up and basically he completely blacked out, heat exhaustion. Because it did start getting warm in the venue.
It did.
It was like the coldest day of the year, and I bet you it was like 95 degrees in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, the Aragon, you pack in 3,300 people and starts getting a little warm in there. But yeah, just like I said, make sure your friends drink plenty of water and
Big Z thought it was gonna be me passing out.
That's every night.
Definitely unexpected. I will say that
passing out and blacking out are two different things.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a blackout. It was like he fainted essentially. But
I never saw JC so like, oh my God, which is intended because that's his friend, his childhood friend.
Well, it becomes a unfortunately, I do have some medical training because my brother's works for CFD. So like I said, I have some background. My mother studied to be a nurse. So
mouth to mouth was right around the corner.
People are sitting there like, well, sit him up. I'm like, no, leave him laying, because if this Mother Hubbard starts seizing, or if it's not just he blacked out, he needs to be in a prone position. Not only that, his legs should be lifted, if anything, to get blood flow back to the core. Like, no, do not sit him up. Like, people in the crowd were telling me what to do, and I'm like, you're all idiots, shut up. So, like, not only that, like, I know the medical team at the venue.
He does. I was very impressed.
We went down to the medical office, and I'm talking to the head medical person for the venue. And I'm like, are they bringing him down? They brought him to like the front stage. Yeah. He got better seats by passing out. I was like, this son of a... We're down in the medical office and he's sitting like front row for the concert.
He's texting JC at the same time while we're waiting for him.
Yeah, like, because we thought they were going to bring him down to the medical office. And he's like, yeah, I'm on the side watching. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So... yeah.
What I do regret is your buddy who was in the office when we went down there. He asked twice who wants pizza. I didn't say anything. And then after the point, I was like, man, now I'd be a jerk asking if I could take a slice. So,
well, you should have joined us. We went to Little Bad Wolf after. It was delicious.
I was so tired. I came back home and knocked out. But that walk to the actual on the side right front free parking was brutal. My face was hurting. I had to be like legit under my jacket because I had no hat, no gloves, had no love. But it was fun. I got to hear, I'll keep you my dirty little secret. And, so.
Yeah. On the walk back to the vehicle, we're sitting here watching all the girls in skirts running down the street. And it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have worn a skirt.
Not the best of choice in Chicago wind chill weather. That was a rough night.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was
11 degrees, and then the wind chill was like negative 16 or something.
And the wind just blowing at you.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyways,
All right.
fun time until medical emergency, but
That's fine.
All right, I think this is a good time to wrap it up. It is late in the night, long in the tooth. I think we let Ivan let out his frustration, and
Apologies.
yeah, we apologize for the rant. But thank you, everyone who's listening and watching and sticking with us and supporting us through 225 episodes. Thank you to our sponsor, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. You know what to do when you get to gritclothingco.com. You can check us out on our social media. We're on Facebook, we're on IG, we're on Twitter, we're everywhere. The boys have their own handles: JC Dynasty Fantasy Football, double F at the end, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. CVB.
I have more time, so expect a lot of content coming through. I found some good websites to post stuff on and whatnot. So expect this week to see a lot of stuff on the socials.
There you go. And where can they find you?
Oh, at No One on the Weekend, WKND on Instagram, and you can spell No One on the Weekend regularly on TikTok.
There you go. If you have a topic for Stirring a Pot and you want to argue with us, or you got something, a recommended show, hit us up at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all. For Stevie B and JC, I am Big Z, and we'll see you next time for episode 226. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.
Swish.